Okay, let's fix this room as a first. So what's a few things before I fix it actually. If you go to top view, you can see this thing is rotated. So to keep it simple and easy for people who are not familiar with Rhino, I'm going to rotate this. You can work in Rhino in this direction. You can change the C-plane and all those, but I don't want to spend time to talk about those commands. So I'm going to do it the easy way, rotate this, select this, use this line as the guide, go to this here, and then make it vertical. So move this a little bit towards the center. And you can press Shift if you have F8 for ortho to turn it on and off. I'll just selected it twice and moved it around. I think it's not a big deal. Then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off all these shades. Okay, shade also is off. Remember what we wanted to do, we wanted to fix this room. So I am going to make sure I remove this to make sure I'm going in room selection mode. I'm going to isolate this. And after isolating this, the first command that I'm going to run is PO rebuild to rebuild the geometry here. So it just merges all this smaller faces together that should be merged, clean it up. We have an issue here, so I have to fix this. Apertures to be inside. I can go in edit mode and run it, probably, but it just makes sense to do it from outside first. And when I do rebuild, these apertures are actually will be outside. So that's an interesting case to show you how to fix it. So let me do PO rebuild rooms. What rebuild rooms does, it goes and tries to clean up. It does a few things, including resetting boundary condition and merging coplanar faces. Now you see I got like very clean faces here. They're not like that many broken down faces. That's a good thing. It's easier to fix. Then now I go inside, and now when I go inside, you see this thing's grayed out because when it was trying to rebuild, it couldn't put it back on the face because it was outside. So what I need to do, I go outside, go back here, select these apertures, Control X, cut out, and then now double click to, oh actually before that I have to turn this off back to be able to go inside, and then Control V, and now they're back in the room, but it says it's missing host. The host is this face here, it can't find it. That's fine. I'll show you how to fix that. Before that, I'm going to explode this, and keep in mind I'm exploding it inside this edit mode. When I double click and I go inside, if I explode it outside, what will happen is you will lose the information about this room. So when I finish this and join it, it still knows the name of the room, the program, everything. That's why I exploded inside. So now I'm going to delete this strange faces, and as soon as I deleted that wall, you see what happened. These are also now missing host because the host was that wall, which is gone. So what I can do now, I can go here and PO reset, or actually remove properties. What PO remove properties does, takes a pollination surface and changes it to a rhino face. So this is not normal rhino face, so I have to make apertures out of this again. The next thing that I do, I have to redraw all these faces here, right? To do that, I'm going just to copy this down here. And it should give me a warning. It says it can't copy everything. It's okay, it still gave me the geometry. If I was in shaded mode, you would see that actually this is a face. Now the next thing I want to do, I want to create these two walls. So what I do, I'm going to use extrude curve. So I select this curve and this curve, and then I'm going to extrude them up. Now you see this is extrusion, that's extrusion. Keep in mind these are, if I go to wireframe, it's easier to see. So these are not colored because they're yet to be pollination faces. Right now they're just rhino faces. So to change that, the first thing I do here is I'm going to flip this. The reason I'm flipping this is I want the normal to look downward, so that's floor. The reason I know that is because this one, if I run dir, you can see the normal was upwards already. So now if I select all these three faces and click on this add opaque face and click, you'll see like it just creates it because of normal direction. It knows these are walls, this is floor. The next thing I want to do, I want to move this apertures all the way upwards. So for this one, I basically turn this off again, move all this, select all this and move them. So I do move, select. I use window selection just to select this, V for vertical, and 0, 0, 5. Let's do 5 centimeters for these apertures to be inside. Show it. You might think we're done. We're not, because these apertures are not or haven't been added, right? Remember, I made them, now they're faces. So what I can do now is I want to run po add aperture command, or I can click here, which is the same thing. So it says I can add an aperture. I can select, by selecting geometry, it tells me select rooms or fan faces. Here we go. And then select all the aperture that you want to be added here, and here we go. They're all being added. I do Control S. It says seems that you have removed. Oh no, don't do that. I forgot to join them. So let's join everything together, and now you see this is back as living. Everything looks fine. It's a closed geometry. I double click to go out, Control S. I select this thing and then run po validate model. Just run it on selection, and the model is valid. So far so good. I fixed one of the 4 rooms that had major issues. I think I take a break and then I'll come back and do the other rooms. I think like I can do those faster because now I mentioned a few commands that I will be using for those rooms too.